Hey folks, welcome back to Gaming Garbage, where we take a look at games, chat about the gaming news in the industry, and of course, stream for fun. Today we're going over the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct. It was pretty good. I definitely am the most excited I've been in a very long time. I give it an S rank. I mean, it is right up there. I mean, I've been more excited about this than like the Wii, definitely the Wii U, and even more excited than the Switch. I mean, this is awesome. We're planning on getting one. And yeah, the Direct was an hour-long presentation. We went over features, benefits that are unique to the console, and also plenty of games, first party and third party. That was really great. We didn't have a price during the presentation, but we do know now that that's $450. But we did get a release date, June 5th. Looks like pre-orders are going to be April 9th. That's what we're hearing from everybody. And then there also is going to be a Mario Kart Worlds bundle, which the game looks awesome, by the way. I mean, it's some of the most innovative I think they've ever made. And the bundle will be $500. Some of the big features is going to be game voice chat. Mic is going to be built right into your gamepad, basically. And they've engineered it to be pretty good at making stuff, at picking up voice, even when there's background noise. So that's really wonderful. There's also a camera accessory so that you can actually stream yourself in real time. And then looking on the TV, the game is probably going to take up about 80% of the screen, and the other 20% is going to be left for your party chat of what looks like up to 4 players, whether they want to stream themselves or not. So that's actually a really cool feature. The Joy-Cons, they can be used as a mouse in gameplay. Of course, the devs actually have to factor this in. But yeah, that's actually kind of cool. It's going to make it easier for different motions in games. Maybe you're not super intuitive with joysticks or buttons, excuse me, as I have hiccups, I always do. And then also the screen. We're looking at 120p for resolution at 120 hertz. Like 120 hertz on your gamepad is going to be really freaking good. So that's probably going to be better than what most people are going to have today for their TV. So yeah, it's going to look really, really fluid, and it'll look better than your phone too. Most phones are at 60 frames per second, but yeah, this is going to be 120 frames per second, which will be pretty incredible. There's also a tutorial for the Switch 2, going over basically every single feature and detail and function of the Joy-Cons and the gamepad itself, which is really nice. And yeah, it explains every feature. Basically, you're a little me, being able to walk around and kind of explore the console and learn about it. You can also charge your gamepad with a phone charger. This is perfect. This is like the first time we've had third-party accessories like that, where you can buy a non-Nintendo thing. I mean, eventually, third parties make power cords and make charge cables and that kind of thing. But they got to be specific for the actual console and the way that Nintendo designs it. This time, they're just letting you use a micro USB or a USB-C, which is wonderful. So just any phone charger, plug it in, and it'll charge for you. That's so nice. It's built right in for ease of access. Joy-Cons will also have electromagnets that require you to use a button to release them. So you probably could technically pull them apart, but we're talking about electromagnets. So like it's going to pull some power from the battery of the gamepad itself to make sure that those Joy-Cons are in place. And then the button is going to turn those electromagnetics off so that you can take the Joy-Con out. So you're going to be very much less likely to rip those apart, accidentally maybe drop the gamepad, fling it around, or there'll be less likely to have accidents during gameplay, which is great. We're also getting more backwards compatibility. We're getting GameCube games. Only 3 at launch, but they will continue to add more as time goes on, which is great. And yeah, man, some of my favorite games were still on GameCube. I'm serious. That is so cool. Also, we're going to be getting a GameCube wireless controller that will be available. Also, we found out that the storage specs for the game, for the Switch 2, is 256 of storage. And then you can also get a 256 gigabyte express expansion card on top of that. So, and then yeah, they've even made some bigger expansion cards for the Switch 1. So I'm expecting here we can get into some massive amounts of of storage here. So yeah, all of this really sounds good and dandy, but I do have concerns And it's really about the direction that Nintendo is starting to go. And I think it's really prevalent here. This is going to tick some people off, but hey, hang with me just for a second. So like the game chat, it's paywalled behind Nintendo Plus. So you have to be able to have that membership in order to even use the feature, which I think sucks. The camera is, of course, going to cost extra. Okay, we would expect that. The 256 gigabyte expansion cards, well, they need to be express cards that are specific to Nintendo. Let me show you what I mean. And if I'm wrong about this, let me know, because I don't have a Switch 1. But as far as I can tell, like, you're going to need a specific card here that's going to cost you some extra money. And this one isn't going to work. It's going to have to say Express on it, which means a faster data transfer rate. And it's because these games have more data to process the visuals, and you need faster transfer rates. It's the same with like an SSD versus a regular hard drive. Okay, the SSD can transfer more data. It can process those visuals. We also know we're going to have ray tracing with these Nintendo 2 Switch games. And so, yeah, it's going to need an express card in order to actually do that. So again, that's going to be expensive. And it ain't going to be $40. I can guarantee you it's going to be more expensive than that just to get more than 256 on your internal, just to get past that point. And since the games are bigger and they have ray tracing, they're going to take up more memory too. So 256 probably sounds pretty big, but when everything is said and done, it's not going to be that big at all. So you're going to want probably an expansion card. Let's talk too about, let's see, the Joy-Cons themselves. Buying a left and right now, they're $80, but these Joy-Cons are, of course, a little bigger. They also have the mouse feature built in, so yeah, they're going to be more expensive. We're looking at like $100. Maybe 110 or 120, maybe for different colors. We don't have an official price yet, but again, Joy-Cons are going to be more expensive. So we have that to look forward to. There's also the backwards compatibility list. It's also behind a paywall. So you got to have Nintendo Online Plus expansion membership, the most expensive. Let's take a look at those. So right here, we're looking at $50. Luckily, for 12 months, that doesn't really sound too expensive, but again, it's another cost on top of it. And some of these other features, they're going to require 12 months of Nintendo Online. Again, I understand $20 is not a lot, or even the family membership at $34. But still, it's a nickel and diming for everything that they have. Okay, the game chat feature doesn't have to be paywalled, but it is, unfortunately. And so that's kind of a bummer. The backwards compatibility list, it also doesn't have to be paywalled, but unfortunately it is. And that's just something that, yeah, we're going to have to deal with. Something that will be nice is that some of these backwards compatibility games are going to have some of these upgradable features with the Switch 2. And also even the Switch 1 is also going to have some of these upgradable features. But again, it's not going to be every single type of game. So it'll be a case-by-case basis depending on what they want to do with it. But again, this is, again, kind of frustrating. It kind of feels like it's becoming more like PlayStation, where it's starting to nickel and dime everything behind a subscription paywall. The thing that I like and enjoy about Xbox is the backwards compat list is free. Buy the old game for like $5, plug it in, and ta-da, you can play. Again, it's not an entire list, but it's there. Same with the chat features. Same too with PlayStation. Like, we're actually having a chat feature that's paywalled, in my opinion, for the first time. That's kind of insane. That's kind of insane. I'm not really a fan of that. Also, the tutorial that we're going to be able to have for the gamepad, that you're also going to have to pay for that too. The GameCube wireless controller looks like it's only going to be available for online members, which means you have to go through the actual Nintendo store. So it won't be in stores, and this is probably to avoid scalpers. So, like, you have to have an online membership or whatever to even have access to being able to buy the GameCube wireless controller. Maybe it won't be like that forever, but probably for the first year, couple of years, it's probably going to be like that. It's going to be exclusive to Nintendo only. Also, I do want to mention this. To be able to pre-order from Nintendo directly the Switch 2, you need to have will have had the online membership for 12 months. Well, not the paid membership necessarily, but just have like your own account your own profile. It needs to have running for 12 months and then needs to have 50 hours of gameplay. And everything is going to be tracked as of April 2nd. So it's not like you can start now and start racking that up. It's got to be effective as of today. This too is also to stop scalpers. But overall, I feel like Nintendo is no longer focused on the affordable console. And that's a really big deal for me because that has been the focus of Nintendo forever. Now, we could say, well, okay, the Xbox and the PlayStation, okay, they're going to be $600, $800, $900, or $1,000 consoles. Yes, I understand that. We also know that there's going to be a handheld that's going to be made by PlayStation and also by Xbox. We know for Xbox that's going to be Asus, and that'll be a third-party development. And those are going to cost money too. And everything is just getting more expensive. And two, we got to remember all of this is before tariffs, which tariffs actually took effect today when you're hearing this. So all of this, whatever's not in country for wherever you live now, it's going to have a tariff on top of it of anywhere from 10 to 25%, depending on what it is and exactly how your country is and all of that. But everybody is raising their tariffs. Everything's going to be more expensive to get into the country. And so those prices are going to go up. And every time the consumer pays the price. That's the point. So this is really, really going to start to get expensive, not just because Nintendo is raising prices on everything, but also because of these tariffs. But Nintendo, with this one, it doesn't feel like they're providing things for the user experience, providing things for the family, because Mario Kart Worlds by itself is $80. $80. They're the first ones that made the $80 game, folks. I thought it was going to be Take-Two Interactive with Grand Theft Auto 6, but nope, that wasn't the case. It's Nintendo. And if Mario Kart Worlds is going to be $80, what about the Donkey Kong game? What about the next Mario Party game? What about the next Mario 3D Worlds or another Mario Brothership type of game or Luigi's Mansion? $80 for a first-party game. Holy frick. That is expensive. And then the Joy-Cons are $100, and then you're buying. So people are really going to go after those bundles, actually, because, yeah, there is going to be a Mario Kart World bundle for $500. You'll save $30 that way, but it's going to be digital only. And then, two, whether it's digital or physical, the prices are going to be the same. So there's that as well. But, man, this is going to be really challenging, I feel like, for a lot of people. And, like, they're nickel and diming you, I feel like, on everything. And putting some stuff that I don't feel should be behind a paywall. And that's going to be tough, because by the time you're done, let's say you buy you buy the console $450. Then, Mario Kart Worlds is another $80 on top of that. So what? We're at $530. You buy another pair of Joy-Cons for $100. That's $630. Well, you're going to want the expansion membership for $50, for 12 months. So that'll put you at $380 or $680, excuse me. And then you're also going to want some other games to play. Let's add 2 more games at $60. So yeah, you're looking at $800 for 2 pairs of Joy-Cons, the console itself, a membership, and 3 games. Ooh, $800. And that's before tariffs kick in. And then there's still the camera. There's still the expandable hard drive. And there's still the GameCube wireless controller. They're still buying the tutorial. This sucks. This is going to be expensive. And I really think the affordableness for the average guy and gal is over. This is going to suck. People are going to no longer be able to buy as many, like all the consoles or 2 out of the 3. I think people are going to have to start to pick one. Or have to start giving up some other pleasures in life to be able to afford it. So yeah, what do you guys think? This is getting expensive. I'm excited. I really am. But man, looking at this, it's going to cost some money. So with that, folks, thanks for tuning in. You can always find me at Gaming Garbage 22 over at over at YouTube. And then you can also follow me over at Twitch if you'd like, which everything goes there first. And then, yeah, if I'm doing a kind of a news thing like this, I don't look at the chat. I just I just do it because otherwise it'll interrupt my thought. But anyway, too. But there's also playlists over at my YouTube channel to help you get around and sift through the 1,000+ videos that I have on there. And anyway, but yeah, ultimately, what do you guys think? I'm going to try to go for one. The pre-orders are going to be crazy. The scalpers are still going to be out there. It's going to be a mess for a while, for a few years. So with that, folks, we'll see you guys on the next one.